Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a while. Today's episode number 33. The Degree of 33. Episode 33. The Degree of 33. Oh, so let's do a little over-the-air frequency tuning before we get started. So, where do we begin? It's been a while since we've done one of these. Did one last year with a good friend of mine, Jeremy Anderson, from Treehouse. We had a fun discussion about consciousness and things to that nature, and the music and energy that he brings to where we are at this point in time in the universe. Did a podcast before that sometime called Hold in Space. And then before that, it's been a good year or two before I'd done a previous one called Divine Love, which the name says it all. So what is the Degree of 33? It's the 33rd episode. I was hoping, I guess, part of the long extended absence after last year, because I kind of expected to do more episodes and have some more guests, like Efton from Indubious. Everybody send your love to him. He just got 2 lungs again. This will be his second time. Great musician, part of the band Indubious. If you like to use music and like conscious oriented music, check out Indubious. Their style is unique. Beautiful souls. They use their music to heal them, and now they use their music to share what they have learned. Just as I'm using tonight's podcast of the 33rd episode to share the things that I have learned along my journey of just a small 37 years. 33 is a representation of mastery. I would call myself a master carpenter for sure. Master, a jack of all trades, a master of one. I continuously seek, I don't know if I want to use the words better than I was yesterday, but for lack of a better words, just try to be a better person than I was the day before. But really, I am trying to incorporate the things that I have learned into my day-to-day outlook, all the words that I say, all the things that I think, to align with the divine essence of oneness and unconditional love. And you all live in the same world that I live in, so this type of ideology or strive is a thing that's definitely easier to say than do. It's easy for all the energies in motion out here to wash over you and overtake you. Energy and motion is one of the most powerful things in the universe. Energy and motion. It's easy to be triggered and react when angered, someone cuts you off in traffic, you serve the public, someone calls you a jackass behind your back, or just the general navigation of exploring the world with our reflections, our other selves. 'Cause there is no difference between you and I. We are all interconnected. The way I see it, you are a cell inside of my body, and I am a cell inside of your body, and everything you see makes up the multiple trillions of cells within your body. It's a living reflection. Cancer and sickness comes from disharmonious interaction with other selves. Being that we all are connected to this degree, goes to all the teachings of all the teachers prior, of how you treat your neighbor, what you do unto your neighbor, do unto yourself. what you do to your other selves, you're just doing to yourself. The world that you see has all been created from fundamental teachings of science and religions that are based on finite, non-changeable separateness and a vastness of separateness, or there is a middleman between you and what we would call God, Creator, the Source. Anything that leads towards a middleman or separation from that you would call God or Creator is heavily distorted. Oneness is a simple concept, but not a simple practice in this current plane of existence in time and space. So what I've learned along my way, or we, this universe of that I call me, is really a we, which is a thing I'm trying to reprogram myself, is quit saying I so much and it be a we. One of the random terms that I've used before, that I had a friend that was like, I guess they really liked it. It had I don't know if it resonated or it was just funny enough to kind of make him think about it. But we're all just spiritual babies. Age is an illusion. As you navigate realize that age is an illusion. Someone can be 75, 100 years old. And be, as a, for lack of a better word, ignorant, or just doesn't know any better of certain things. Being in the South of America, in the south part of North America, where a few generations back, the great-grandparents, or even some people's parents, don't know no better to a certain degree for many things when it comes to race and religion, or sexuality. There's a little town right next door, Cherryville, North Carolina. And they have a Facebook group called Cherryville Town Talk. It's really quite a hideous place, to be honest with you. But I nose around in there and I share things, and I try to talk about things and share information neutrally about the unconditional love of that we would call God, and that personal journey of cultivating your own relationship with creation or the creator or that you would call God. You know, kind of closer to what Jesus taught, not what Christians believe today. Jesus showed a way. The message was about divine love and that personal relationship that you can create with his lack of better words or a lack of translation, the Heavenly Father, the Creator. His Heavenly Father is your Heavenly Father, my Heavenly Father. It is the Creator, the Source, the unnameable one, the one with many names. So these heavily indoctrinated Southern Baptist Christian people, they have lots of hate towards gay people, particularly now, is the biggest, nastiest thing that I've seen. All of them rant on about. And then obviously there's the usual Trump this and that political stuff, or you know, the Juneteenth is coming up, so there's obviously, you know, ignorance and things said about that, and that's the world we still live in, you know. But that's why we are here now, thinking and living and being exactly how we are. This is what you came for. It's what you're here for now. It's like the greatest time in all existence to be alive. At this transitionary period on our planet and us as a species, as we consciously evolve. Most things that we see let me go back. So, approaching these types of individual with this anger and hate inside of them, I use the idea that we're all spiritual babies. They can be 75 years old and they don't know no better than to hate someone for their sexual preference or their race or their religious beliefs. And if we could learn to look at those types of people like an infant child, shitting themselves, you know, crying because they're hungry, you know. If we can approach those that we meet in the day-to-day and try not to be triggered by the things that they say and do, and try to see them as a child of the one infinite creator, and we don't expect them to act and behave in any kind of way, just as you don't expect an infant child or a small child to act or think in any certain way, then we can learn to approach ourselves with love. Because that's the goal, the journey for myself, is to learn how to walk and talk and share and express unconditional love in always possible. We know kids do things just because they don't know no better. Therefore, the bigger kids will also do things which they don't know no better. The biggest thing is to try to not take all this stuff that's so serious. I mean, everything that we see is an illusion. We can dive way deep into that concept. I'm sure there's I don't know if I know I've mentioned it many times on previous podcasts, but you can look into like electric universe theory, different things like this. Everything you see is actually consciousness. It's a projection of consciousness. Real isn't what you thought real was. Real is not finite and set in stone. That which we would call real is forever moldable, malleable, transformative. Because it is all consciousness. We have so many terms and things that we chop up and label to many different degrees to explain the same thing. Energy, God, consciousness, they're all the same one thing. One. Started doing these podcasts back in 2018. 2017, I had a biblical experience. I don't know what you would call it. I had a download or remembrance. I don't have words for it. It's cool stuff happened. I guess you could call it cool. I would call it cool. But I was changed forever from that moment. That version of me died, and many versions of me have died since then. In fact, on this journey, the terms of I die daily would be a interesting yet proper reference of becoming. But becoming what? Remembering, reincorporating expressing. Anything that I think or share is not in a way for it's like, hey, believe what I believe, do what I do. Because that's not how any of this works. There's not. There is one journey, but there is infinite pathways on this journey. We are all walking back to the same place. But we are all walking there from different paths. We can share what we've learned along the way and things that work for us that help us, or that we've learned, or teachings, or ceremonies, or different methods of healing, sounds, creating. We all have our unique expressions of that one that we come from. Your perception from this time space that you occupy and are observing from is unique to you. Nothing but the one can perceive through your eyes. In fact, the one infinite creator is looking through your eyes. God, you got to go though. This is all illusionary to a degree, and then when we forget that fact, it becomes a delusion, and people act out of that delusion. The delusion of being separate from one another. The delusion that whatever you do to somebody else or the planet doesn't affect you. All these things are super untrue. And the transition, like where we are now in history, or in this present time, and the transition of why this is the most amazing time to be alive is because right here, right now, look at this. Some random guy chilling in a sanctuary, talking to anybody who will listen all across the known globe / universe. In our known or remembered or taught history, there's never been a time other than right now that I could be right here, right now, doing this. So, this transition of the ages, Pisces to Aquarius, or however we want, it's the best reference we have, this energetic procession cycles, the infinite spiral. through the cosmos that carries all kinds of different energies and lessons and journeys and teachings, experiences, evolutionary catalyst. We are transferring now from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And with that comes a death. Just like the versions of me have died many times over, we can already look in a small time as our human experience, evolution, has went from horse and buggies and fighting each other to a smaller degree with swords and bow and arrows to cannons to where we are now. Boy, have we not become efficient in killing one another. All that innovation and technology and resources all spent on killing one another. As soon as the ideology is changed, that nobody on the other side of an imaginary line deserves to die, and we learn to take the innovation and motivation to creating a more harmonious experience and a higher degree of living for all things across the planet. We are at the brink on the technology advancements that all people across the world could be provided for to a better standard of living than they do now, with nearly no human interaction involved. Yeah, when we look and see they've already put AI in a freaking jet. They can't no human pilot compete against. If we used AI to terraform another planet or fucking learn how to take this infinite energy that we are submersed in and made out of and make replicators that freaking manipulate the molecules between us. This is an illusionary to a degree, and science is even what we know of science have told you this and showed you this. One of the smallest things is an atom. Science says that atom is 99.9% space. Space, what a weird explanation for that. So they say the atom is 99.9% nothing, 0.01% matter, and everything you see is that 0.1% matter. But it's made up out of a bunch of atoms coherently joined together to give you this optical illusion of density. This is our playground. Being part of this transition of the ages is going back to some of the ancient ways of understanding that we're all connected. There's been many cycles on this planet. There's even been golden ages before, from what I understand. And that is the 2012 prophecy of the Mayans, is, the end of the world. the beginning of the golden age. So what kind of age will we create once we have this basic understanding amongst all ourselves, teachings and schools and society, the quantumness of reality, the fact that we all are all one, we are all connected. What kind of changes will this make? So, after chasing rabbits, you know, I try my best on my day-to-day to be love, to share love. Some of my newest practices, you know, of when energy gets all up in there and trapped, I guess is funny. I've kind of started to see it as more energetic thing too, almost relating to chakras and some of those types of things. But you know, if you get angry or if you're scared or you have anything going on, if you pay attention to your body, you'll feel a density somewhere in your body, and that's where like that energy is trapped. And so if I get triggered or angry or some of these, anything like that, my newest thing is trying to be, you know, not force it away or push it out. That's giving it more energy. I think I allow this energy to flow through me. Works for me. Because, you know, all I can do is share the things that I've learned and the things that work for me. That's the only reason why I even do this podcast is, you know, if I just help one person along their journey to make it a little easier for them or to lend them a hand, then I could do these randomly for the rest of my life and it would be worth it. We're all just spiritual babies, and this isn't as real as you thought it was. So don't take it so serious. There's really so much that's involved with that journey to mastery, that seeking to be able to navigate this with that space of unconditional love. As a matter of fact, first place you have to start is with loving yourself. And what in the world does that mean? Took me a while to figure that one out because I know the energy of love and I know how to direct that energy towards other things outwardly, but I can't direct that energy towards me if it's coming from me, flowing through me. Just the same way I can't touch the end of my index finger with the end of my own index finger or bite my own teeth. Alan Watts. That's a character. Or he was a character. So what in the world does it mean to love myself if it's an energy that or what I know of this unconditional love as an energy, how do I direct that towards myself? So I figured out through the seeking and discussions with the Creator, or whatever you want to call it, my internal dialogue with the One, come to the realization that self-love was caring about myself, how I feel, my base frequency, caring about me to a degree, to make boundaries. And that was after all of the stuff that I'd come to learn and understand about frequencies and vibration and feeling and understanding frequency and vibration in my body. We call it empathy. It's a double-edged sword. The more conscious aware you become of the energy inside of you and around you and this interaction with it, the more sensitive you come to those energies. So that's the whole thing of knowing your energy and other energies and stuff like that. But caring about my base frequency, how do you feel normally? When you're by yourself and alone in your mind, or you, what kind of thoughts come about? Are you worried about this, that, and the third, tomorrow, yesterday, or what you've done, what you haven't done? Are you content? That's the frequency that I seek to be at least at a base resonance, is contempt and above. Boredom seems to be the beginning spiral of the downward flow. So I would say my learning, discovery of how to express these things that I've learned is energy and frequencies and dense, slow vibration, and just like ucky feeling, like after you've been angry, that's the low vibration. Or the high vibration is like when you're laughing, or you're just overflowing with love, or when you're laughing so hard that you're crying. I would go all the way to the degree that thoughts are not even yours. That thoughts is an energy, and it's a flowing river that comes to and flows through us, and that we attach to thoughts and claim them as our own. And I feel that your frequency, your resonance attracts thoughts in those frequency ranges. Like when you're worried or about this and that and the third, you have all these other thoughts that just come rushing in about worrying about that other thing or this and that and the third, and it's just like when you're like happy and content or really good mood, it's so easy to think about all these beautiful thoughts. La 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 la. That's why I think heaven and hell exist here in the mind, and that's the two spectrums right there. A heavy, dense energy, like guilt, sorrow, all the way to the degree where you don't even be alive no more. That's hell. Thinking that your family or loved ones will be punished for the things that they do and spend eternity in fire. That's hell. Realizing that we're all connected, but this is an illusionary playground set out before you to play, share, love, dance, create. That nothing in the world, no thing can do anything to you. No thing can do no thing to me. Nothing can do anything to me except for the infinite creator. And the infinite creator is unconditional, compassionate love. And anything that you carry in your mind and your heart, you're asking from Creator of the universe to bring those things to you. So mastery, as many would teach, is this empty fullness. My friend Christopher Timms, he has great teachings about inner light and inner sound. One of the best things I've heard him talk about was, meditation, his approach, or his sharing of the approach to meditation in a modern world, instead of trying to do all this and that and third, set out a time to sit down and meditate for 20, 30 minutes. That doesn't really quite fit into the modern world. Whereas if you could just take a moment every time you think about it, put this moment in before you get in the car, right before you get out of the car, when you wake up, before you brush your teeth, after you brush your teeth, before you eat. You want to try and squeeze in this little 5-10 seconds as many times you can throughout the day. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Just kind of be there for a second in that present moment. Be here now, not extracted to yesterday or tomorrow. Just do it for like 5-10 seconds, as many times throughout the day that you can remember. I actually started meditating randomly. I was born and raised in the South, brought up hellfire and brimstone, Christian. But then, like 16 years old, I was like, I'm gonna start meditating. I don't think I looked anything up. The internet was not what the internet is today. Back in 2002, 3. So I done this random thing where I had this little speaker box. It was, old school speakers. It had this big tall box, and it would have like a big old 15-inch in it, maybe a 10 and a couple of little tweeters, and that was like your home stereo system. The badass shit back in the day. So I had this random speaker box without the speakers in it, and I I had this room. I had 2 rooms. I had a bedroom and this other room for a while that I called my entertainment room. And when I was like 16, 17. So I had that little speaker box in there, and I turned it upside down, or I laid it on its side, so it was like a little short table, and I had this pillow that I still have that my grandma made for me when I was born. It's like, this thing's probably almost 3 foot by 3 foot, and I think I may have had a little Buddha and a little dish, and I think the little dish, I might have put change in it. That may have came from just like something I seen at the Chinese restaurant or something. But my practice was I would, my intention at that point in time, at 16 years old or whatever, was like that my mind was mine, and I could do whatever I wanted to with it. Just like I can move my finger, then I should be able to do whatever with my mind, which means that I should be able to cut it off, allow things to not come and go anytime I wanted, just like I can wiggle my finger. And at that point in time, I was thinking like a brain fart, like when you know that something's in your mind but you can't access it. I was like, what's that? It's my mind. That information's there. I even know that the information's there. Why can't I access it? So what I actually learned from that, a technique for myself, was that anytime that I come to that point where I had a brain fart per se, where I knew a name or this and that and the third of something, then I would, if I could literally take my mind off of it and literally think about something else, no matter what, but like legitimately think about something else, it would instantly pop into mind just like that. And that's worked 10 out of 10 times for me, personally. So my little random meditation thing that I did at like 16 years old was, I had my pillow, and I would sit there, nice, comfortable legs, Indian style, or whatever you call it. What would they call it in elementary school when I was a kid? Probably kind of derogatory, to be honest. I'd sit there, and I had a candle, and I would light the candle, and I would just sit there and stare at the candle flickering, and I think I remember playing like some Japanese flute or something for sound, like in the background, and I would just sit there and stare at that candle flickering, trying to bring all my focus onto the flickering flame. And the mind would wander here and there, come back to the flame, wonder flame, and then eventually I could sit there, be present, just staring at the flame flickering. And then I was able to transfer that to being able to shut my mind off, per se, or become present at will. I don't know about all that. So yeah, that was just like, being brought up Christian and have all this ideology like poured into me at a young age. Even at some point I was like very spiritual hungry, like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. But all I had was the Christian ideologies and teachings. And I remember having a conversation with my grandma. It didn't go too well, but I was like, I don't need church to have a relationship with God. And I was like, everybody has their own personal relationship with God. I was like, that voice inside of your head, that's God. I was like, you don't need no church for that. Pretty spot on for 16-year-old, I guess. 15-year-old, who knows. So easy for us to, these things are all easy for me to say and think about and seek because of my growth and the things that I've learned over the past 7 to 37 years. A lot of people deal with traumatic experiences and traumatic upbringings, super convoluted teachings of what things are, what life is, your place and purpose in it, what it means to be a man or woman or this and that and the third. So my own personal experience, I had to go through the place of forgiveness. Definitely had things that I held on to that I was upset about, and then one day I was 17, 18 years old, maybe 19, somewhere around in there, come to the realization that no matter what I thought about somebody else, it wasn't affecting them. It was only affecting me. If I hate this person or was upset towards this person, it was only affecting me. It wasn't affecting them. I got pistol whipped when I was like 18, and man, I was gonna beat the shit out of this guy if I ever seen him again. I had an anger, deep, passionate anger for this person, for their actions. But that was my very first use of a teaching. At like 18, 19 years old, I had this person, this anger, this energy in me. This is after I already processed my thoughts towards my childhood and forgave any of those types of things, and I was happy with who I become as a person and realized all those things have made me that person. If anything changed, I would have been differently. So I used this individual to learn frequency control before I even knew what in the world that was. So I was like, I think about this guy and I'm like, this like dense fire energy that's just like, he pound somebody's face. Man, that person is so long gone. Would never pound someone's face, or I don't even know if I can even be triggered to want to pound somebody's face anymore. Jeez Louise. I was like, can I think about this person and carry love in my heart towards that person instead of the anger of wanting to bring physical pain to that person? So yeah, that's it's interesting to reflect back to see these things that come to me prior. Yeah, everything I shared is like information that's come through me, to me, and found that inside of me. I'm on seeking and journeys, and then after that information come to me, through me, however you want to say it, then I would get this book that would say the thing that I'd already learned in a different way, or the thing that I already understood in a different way, or I meet this person and they would say the thing that I'd already understood in a different way. They share their different expression of it. And it's really just wild. once you start going through that, I guess the ancients would use the word initiation, to become initiated in the seeking. As soon as you start to ask questions about what the fuck is this, what is going on, who am I, where am I, oh shoot, that's the initiation to the journey. It's the crucifixion, a journey of killing all these ideas of what you thought you were, or who you were, or how all this worked. Everything is consciousness. Consciousness is all the information and all the perspectives of every single life pixel, atom, cell in your body, cell in every living thing across all the cosmos, everything in between. That is consciousness. That living, viewing experience. And it's all here in front of us, molding, moving, as we float and walk through the cosmos. Self-love, forgiving everyone and everything. They were all just babies and kids. Like, you gonna be mad at that baby for knocking over your cup of tea? So can't we just perceive everybody as just that baby that knocked over that cup of tea? No matter what they've done to us, we can forgive them. No matter what we've done to someone else, we can learn to forgive ourselves. Then you can learn what it means to love yourself, to care about how you feel, to make boundaries, decisions that cultivate that harmonious balance. And that's a mouthful that might not be, it's definitely easier said than done. I mean, you may have to, quit hanging out with certain people, or quit going certain places, or quit whatever. When you make boundaries and you start caring about how you feel, and notice that certain places and things make you feel some kind of way that you don't like, well, don't go there. Don't be around that. You don't owe anybody anything. You can love someone unconditionally, but you do not owe them your time, space, presence. Your presence is a present. I can love you unconditionally, but I do not have to be present with you. I do not have to speak to you. I can hold space in my heart for love for you. I don't have to condone your actions. I don't have to like the things that you do, but I could still love you. So we don't owe our families parents, anybody, anything. We don't owe them our presence. We owe them our love and respect. But if you have relationships and situations that get you all frizzle-frazzled or end up in arguments or nasty feelings and this and that, then you don't have to put yourself in those situations. My idea of diet isn't just like food that you put in your body. Diet is the thoughts that you carry in your mind, the feelings that you carry in your heart, the things you watch on TV, the things you listen to on the radio, the people that you're around, and the food that you put in your body. All those things are diet. And you're allowed to be as selective as you would like about those things, to your preference, to whatever makes you feel full, or to a point to where you can be content in your own skin, in your own mind, in your own body. That's mastery, I would say, to a degree. It was learning to be, or remembering to be in that space and place of happy to be in this point, space, and time, in this experience. You know, the saying goes, is you can't pour from an empty cup. So what I mean by like these boundaries and this discovery of self-love is like, what fills you up? Do things pour out of your cup, pull your cup? Does things knock your cup over? You know, are you miserable every single day? Like, you are the writer of your book. This is your playground, and you can do whatever in the world that you want. You can write a new chapter right now. You can start a whole new book and a whole new story. All those things are so easier said than done. You know, if you have a family member or like someone that's really close to you, that you come to the realization that you aren't meant to be around each other, or that you can't give any more to that individual's mentality or actions or thought processes or whatever. It's definitely not easy for one to make the changes of maybe not being a friend with somebody anymore, or maybe not going to family events, or maybe not speaking to this or that person. None of those things are fun. But I promise you, if you start to care about yourself enough and love yourself, to care about your diet and the things that you listen to and surround yourself with, and the thoughts and energies that you carry in your body, and make choices to cultivate those things to a harmonious degree, that it will change everything. I can guarantee you one thing that I do know for sure is if you change your perspective, you can change your life. How you perceive things and what you experience correlates so more than one could ever imagine. I mean, you can go back and look at this guy, 2017, 2018, and look at this guy here now in front of you. It looks completely different. Very different from that point in time. Made hard choices, but they were all for the best. No regrets. World has been through a lot since 2017. 2020, man. I had lots of fun. 2021, lots of exploring, being out in nature. Man, the world sure was hectic. 2020, the year of vision. You could see people who are mind trapped without even talking to them. You could see the people living in hell without even them speaking a word. Usually, you don't know what an individual has in their mind and their heart when you see them at the grocery store or out in public. You'll see so much division and separation played out through like the media, but when it comes down to it, we all just want to be happy, healthy, be able to provide for our families and spend time with them and just enjoy life. That's what everybody wants. So it's for a select few who want to bicker and complain and be unhappy all the time, or they want to control everybody and have all the stuffs. Have all the stuffs, have all the monies, and have all the stuffs. You can't carry those things with you to the other side, but I'll tell you what you can take with you. Those moments, this experience, those cherished things that you spend with your friends and family, and you go exploring and see things. All this that you experience, forever take with you. But not one single physical thing will go. Because this thing right here, this meat suit, is illusionary. That which I am in here is eternal. And this meat suit will fade away, and my observation will go another way. A new experience, a new connection, a new fractal. This is all a fractal holographic universe of the one. It's all living, conscious, it's illusionary, it's dense, it's electromagnetism, the reason why your hand doesn't pass through your hand or the desk and things in front of you. If you zoom down into the very smallest area, you would see that you never touched anything. Those fingers never touched one another. Such a turbulent time it has been before, leading up to the present, but 100 and some years ago, 125 years, was riding around on horse and buggies. So many things have changed really fast. Now they're gonna continue to change really fast. And we're here to be that change that we want to see by encompassing the ideals and fundamentals that align with harmony and balance, and allowing those things to direct all our thoughts, words, and interactions with each other. That's what puts us on the most easiest way through all these transitions. Because all these things will come to pass one way or another. Through many catalysts or through surrender into the flow. The guarantee is change. That's the guarantee. Oh, you're not the same. No. The only guarantee is change. It's funny. Some friends of mine, we were at this event, and I went back to campsite for something, and they had took a picture without me, and I seen the picture, and I was talking crap about not being there or whatever, about them taking it without me, and then a year later, I think somebody ended up sharing the picture, so I got on there and I was talking junk about taking a picture without me, and one of the friends was like, "We can do it again," and I was like, "No." It's not the same. I said, it's not the same river, and you're not the same person, or something to that degree. I may have tweaked it a little bit to fit the photo thing. And then the other friend was like, "Did you just quote Buddha?" For not being included or whatever. It's hilarious. Hilarious. And ridiculous. But great. You know, it's crazy to see the world as it is at this day and time. But if you lived, let's say 75 years ago. No, we'll just go back 100, 125 years ago, and I'll be like, one day we'll be able to talk to anybody, anywhere in the world, instantly. We will fly like birds. We will drop evil bombs, killing thousands of people all at one time. Usually I was a crazy buffoon. But I can tell you that the future beholds a beautiful thing. As humans consciously evolve to be more harmonious as we go through these catalysts of virus or plague or political turmoil is all pointing to the thing, to the one thing, to that inner seeking, that inner discovery, that initiation inward. The initiation of questions and seeking or wanting to know. We all have that in our own personal journey, and we have all these stages that we go through on our personal journey of seeking, but then the collective will also go through all these same stages. COVID opened a lot of people's eyes to a lot of different things. This political thing and that political thing. The age of information has opened everybody's eyes to so many things. They're like, oh my God, the world, look at it. Oh, it's horrible. There ain't nothing new under the sun. The only difference is you can see it now. This is thousands of years of this same thing. Now that you see, now that we see, we can make the changes, take the steps, be the change that we want to be. He was made for this. This is what we came for. I wonder how much I've discussed on the degree of 33 and mastery of the spiritual babies. Trying to see each other with love. I like to use the sun as a reference. The Son of God. And I use it with the Christians all the time. I'm like, the Son of God rises in the east, comes in the eastern sky every morning in a blink of an eye. And it shines on everyone just the same, no matter what you do. If we can shine our light on everyone that we encounter, just like the sun does, no matter what they do, then we'll be walking in that degree of mastery. As usual, I don't have anything ever written down or thought out about what I'll talk about on these. Sometimes I just come up with a title and get on and go with the flow. Yeah, so I try not to be triggered, and every day is a practice of walking in that harmony and navigating the world of people. But I'm lucky, I kind of stay to myself. Don't do public too often. Very small, select group of people that I speak to or around. Facebook. Very, very selective on the Facebook. There's no people complain or moan and groan, this and that and third, or too much on mine. And I just don't have them on my there no more. part of the diet. The music I listen to these days is all very conscious oriented. I listen to the things that I used to listen to. But as usual, the things that work for me might not necessarily work for you. Might not be your thing. And that's awesome. Things that I help boost me, maintain me. I like going camping or being out in nature, going to the river, going to like music festivals, hanging out, camping with like-minded individuals, just celebrating life, have fun, smiles, laughs, and memories. Those are types of things I use to maintain my frequency. You know, you're just trying to find the balance between the things that you need to do and the things that you want to do. Balance between provisions and play, or work and play, whatever you want to call it. Just like all these frequencies of the most high to the lowest low. We ain't trying to be the extreme low, and it's okay. We can get up there to the extreme highs of joy and love, but we're just trying to find that balance. Finding and maintaining the balance is what many would call mastery. Most of the time, things that people say and do to one another, a lot of times doesn't even have to do with the individual. It has to do with the person who says them, with their own inner dialogue, the things they think about themselves, or the things that people have said to them, or how they were brought up and raised. So anytime the energies try to overflow you, see if you can just take that breath for a moment. Be like, I allow these energies to flow through me. Because we want to react to things, and no, not react. We want to act towards situations and things and people, and not react. People get triggered and then they react, and they say and do things that they don't want to or wouldn't do normally. But if we can allow the energies to flow through us and not allow to be overcome by them, then we can try and address things in the moment as best as we can with a clear mind, and try to act towards things instead of react towards things. Because I know everybody has times they have reacted to something, some kind of way that they wish they wouldn't have. Well, thanks for joining. We'll be back another time. Infinite love to you all. You can catch us on all the platforms and all that good stuff. Link at the end and infinite love, family.